Here's a look at the confrontation between Jamie Benn and Mark Scheifele from the perspective of what the on-ice calls were, what the penalties were issued in the moment, and what they maybe should have been based on what actually happened. So here's how the play develops. Benn turns the puck over, and then he competes really hard to get it back. That's a good playoff battle to win that puck back, but then he pins Scheifele away from the puck, prevents him from going where he needs to go. To me, that's an automatic start right there of 2 minutes for interference or roughing, call it whatever you want, but that's definitely a penalty on Benn. And then he roughs him up. So for me, that's 2 penalties. Seeing that second one, that's when Chris Tanev, Scheifele's teammate, is going to jump in, pull Benn off the pile, and try and save his teammate. And every other player on the ice comes in and does pretty much the same thing. Grabs someone from behind, keeps them out of the pile. Seconds after that, Jamie Benn punches Scheifele down again. Now, let's take a look at the penalties that came out of that according to the official score sheet. 2 minutes for roughing for Jamie Benn and a 10-minute misconduct. 2 minutes for roughing for Brandon Tanev and a 10-minute misconduct. And 2 minutes for roughing for Mark Scheifele. 5-on-4 power play advantage for the Dallas Stars. Now, just to recap, Jamie Benn interferes with Scheifele and then drops him here with this push punch. And then after the fact, drops him cleanly with that big, obvious punch. And he only got one single 2-minute minor for roughing. So based on the way the official reacts here and says, hey, you go, I believe that's where he got the 10-minute misconduct. Now keep in mind, Mark Scheifele only got one single penalty, a 2-minute minor for roughing, which means if I'm right about Jamie Benn getting his 10-minute misconduct for that second larger follow-up punch, that the officials saw this as an even swap. 2 minutes for Benn for roughing and 2 minutes for Mark Scheifele for roughing, which I think is still wrong, but it's best case scenario, and that still involves that second punch only being a 10-minute misconduct and not an extra penalty charge to the Dallas Stars. And that's best case scenario, because worst case scenario, it means they saw this as 2 minutes for roughing for Mark Scheifele and nothing for Jamie Benn. So either way, they got that completely wrong. And keep in mind that Benn and Tanev got the same number of penalties out of this. So that means the officials see this altercation and this punch combined as the equivalent of Tanev coming in and just pulling Benn off the pile and just that's it. And I don't factor situation into my rulings, but the actual NHL does. So the fact that this was 3-0 kind of late in a third period and the team that's down initiated this whole thing makes it even more crazy that somehow that team came out of this with a power play.